What's happening, my friends? We're back inside the building. Welcome back to Breakfast with KXVU here on Trickstar Radio as we jump into another episode of the Interview Hour, the interview series where we jump into conversations with different artists, producers and musical figures from around the world, basically talking through their stories and seeing what they've got going on. Today we're going to be getting into a conversation with one of a duo who has been a big part of the show in the last couple of weeks. We had a couple of DM divers and a couple of highlight sections from them. Gold Up, one half of Gold Up is on the line. Zach, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, good morning. I'm doing great. Yourself?
Yeah, good, man. I'm good. It's great to get you on the phone. Just so people are aware and able to kind of grasp the commitment to making sure you're able to get on the show. What time is it over there?
It's 4:05 a.m.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Well, I can say thank you for making sure you're here, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
There we go. Well, we've got a lot to discuss. We've got a lot to get into, and obviously with this show, we get people from a lot of different, as I was saying, a lot of different areas of music, a lot of different sort of sounds and backgrounds. So the first thing I want to kind of dive into is get a bit of background on Gold Up as a project. When did it first start?
It would be about approximately 2 years ago that we first linked up and decided that we were going to work on becoming a label and kind of putting both of our visions together and seeing what could come out of it. So it was approximately 2 years ago.
Okay, cool. So in that 2 year period, a lot's happened, put it that way. A lot of explosive stuff has happened. Like, what were you doing before that music-wise?
I was really just working on my own. I have my own label, Zachariah Productions. So I was working with various other teams within, different parts of the world, but mostly Jamaica, and just trying to make my thing happen on my own, like my own label, until I actually met Raf, who's from Gold Up.
Okay, cool. So, how did that link up actually come together then? Was it like an event? Was it just a random coincidence? Like, how did you two first end up linking up?
Actually, so I put out a post on my Facebook asking if anybody in the city had any, so there's this thing that, it's basically tobacco. So I put out a post asking if anybody had any grabba, which is tobacco, and then he responded to my Facebook post. So I went to go meet up with him, and we just got to talking, and he mentioned he wanted to get into producing, and he knew that I was into making music. So we kind of just had the idea then, and then we said, okay, well, in a couple months, let's revisit it and see what's going on. So a couple months later, sure enough, we linked up again, and then he seemed more ready to kind of move on with actually putting this vision into work. So that's really how it happened.
I mean, that's a crazy story. That's a crazy story on how the partnership came together.
Yeah, it was really so random. Like, I had no idea. Like, he was on my Facebook list, and then I just put that post out and pretty much got a response, I think, the same day, and then
Amazing.
Just through Facebook, yeah.
Amazing, man. I mean, that's a real kind of positive from the. That's a real positive of kind of using social media in a musical sense. The fact this project's been able to build from that situation, and then obviously off the back of that as well, the last kind of year, at least the last kind of year, from what I've seen, has been kind of crazy in regards to the sort of link ups you've been working on. So, just talk me through the last year of production from the pair of you.
All right. Well. 2 years ago, was it last year? Yeah, we released the Prelude album, and then that was just a project with approximately, I think it was 18 songs with mostly upcoming artists. There were a few Shatta Wales on there, so that was the first real main project that we had as like a group, and we also had a couple singles. We had Prophet from Chronic Law, which was also produced with Marcus Records from Jamaica. We have a couple singles with Bada General. We have a single with Idonia as well, called Race Car. among other songs as well. I'm sure there's a whole bunch that I'm leaving out, but yeah.
Amazing, man. I mean, even then, off the back of that, since we've been talking, even in the last couple of months, it would seem a tune that did absolute bits and it blew up significantly was, of course, Blow Up. Like, talk to me about how that one came together, because that's a tune that I've been playing on the show regularly. It's a tune that's been getting a lot of good response. Like, talk to me about how it landed, essentially.
All right, so that one was really months in the making. My partner Raf was at a studio in Jamaica, an East Side studio, Skillibeng studio, but he was working on some singles with another artist, Ritical, and so he was in the studio, and then I had the idea, or someone had the idea, that let's try and see if we can get Skillibeng, you know. So Skillibeng then I think walked in the studio. And so Raf approached him, asked him if he would be okay to do a Shatta Wale collab. You know, because we want to kind of test out to make sure he's okay with it before we kind of start getting everything in motion.
Yeah, of course.
And approach Shatta. So he was down with it. So then we approached Shatta's management team in Jamaica, Kim's Media House, who's one of my close friends, actually. So, so I just approached her, asked her if she was okay with the idea, and she was definitely down, because she's trying to get, more exposure for her artist in Jamaica, and what better way to do that with Skillibeng right now, you know? So, it was just back and forth, trying to get vocals from the studio. I think we went through a couple of versions of the Shatta lyrics. It was that original song had a different intro, so it's about a month of waiting for an intro. So there's a lot of back and forth, but we finally put it all together and made it happen.
Amazing, man. I mean, with that sort of thing of collaboration as well, we live at a time now where international collaboration is somewhat easier than it would have been, say, sort of 10 years ago. We do have the ability to sort of send like parts of songs and stems back and forward. We have the ability as musicians more than anything else to really kind of expand the boundaries. Is that something you enjoy doing as artists, kind of like finding new people to work with?
Yeah, it's actually it's really like, because there's never a shortage of them, so that's what's really great about it, right? Like you can go through 1,000 artists and there'll still be another million out there that are like, or maybe not a million, but you know, a whole bunch of them out there that you know you haven't heard of. So we're just trying. We're always open to working with new artists and new talented artists. So definitely, and it's easier, like you said, with the internet now. Like none of this really would have been possible 15 years ago, and so I'm really super thankful for this technology, you know? Yeah,
100%, man, and it's wicked seeing it. And a tune we're going to get into in just a second kind of epitomizes that idea of, I suppose, international collaboration and just collaboration in general. This one is the Barrel remix, featuring so many different artists on this one. Talk to me about how this project came together, because the lineup is crazy.
The original Barrel, so that was just like Bada asked me for a beat that he had an idea he wanted to do, like kind of a conversation song with ZJ Liquid. So I made them a beat, I sent it over, they told me right away, yep, this is the one. So then that's when they recorded Barrel. Then probably a couple weeks after it released, or a week after it released, I saw ZJ Liquid was playing it on his Instagram live, and Style OG was in the room too, and I saw him commenting, you know, fire emojis and everything. So I actually sent him a message, because I have Stylo's number, so I just sent him a message and I'm like, you know, it would be great to have you on the remix, and then he's like, oh, that's yours? And so I'm like, yeah. And then I never got a response. He's probably busy. But nothing against him, you know, I'm sure he's super busy. But so then a couple of days later, I hear from Liquid that Stylo's going to be on the remix. So I was like, okay. And then I thought to myself, how can we even make this more crazy? So I'm like, this worldwide thing could be cool with the Barrel, you know, so let's get Shatta involved. So pretty much that was it. I asked him if he was down, and he was. Sent him a little concept of what what we would like name a couple Ghanaian products, and that's exactly what he did, and he killed it. And
amazing,
pretty
man.
much just put everything together. Still waiting on the video, so
awesome, man.
Well, coming soon.
Well, we're going to jump into this one right about now. It is an absolute banger. This one is the Barrel remix. We're on the line with Gold Up this morning. Make sure you're sticking around. There's still plenty more to come here on Trickstar Radio. Just gone 9:15 in the AM. Don't go anywhere.
This is Breakfast with KXVU, bringing you their morning flavours on Trickstar Radio.
Trickstar Radio.